Well, hello, everybody, and welcome. Happy Thursday to each and every one of you. So happy to see you here today with me. And I have a great show lined up for you today. And for those of you that don't know me, my name is Leslie Vitel, and I'm a business strategist and mentor, specifically helping practitioners in private practice really ramp up their marketing, get their message out there, and ultimately just make it so much easier for you to get the right fit clients into your practice and ultimately bring in multiple revenue streams. That's what we all want, right? Help you to get one-on-one clients as well as get those courses, group programs, and online programs set up. So, again, welcome. Super excited about what I have in store for you today. Today, I have a very special guest. I'm super excited to chat with her, Molly Rose Speed from Virtual Assistant Management. And, guys, I know this is an awesome topic for you. We get so many questions coming in about, how do I get a virtual assistant? What is it? What exactly do they do? How do I find one? How much do I pay? Like all of the things, right? So today we're going to break it all down for you. So first of all, welcome to Molly. So happy to have you here today, Molly.
Thanks, Leslie. Really happy to be doing this and chatting with your community.
Yeah, this will be great. So, just to kind of give you guys a little bit of background. So, I know that you have heard that saying that you need to work on your business, not just in your business. We need to split it up, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the issue, and I'm sure you can attest to this, Molly, is that most of us really struggle with that because we're so busy working in the business. It's really hard to put on our CEO cap and do the behind the scenes planning and social media, right? Like that is the biggest struggle, wouldn't you say?
Yes. Oh my goodness. I hear that one a lot.
Yeah, it's huge. I think I hear it every single day with my clients, like, oh my God, social media. So today is all about how we can make things easier for you. And ultimately, we're going to talk about the power of systems and outsourcing for practitioners. Okay. So lots of good stuff in store for you. Before we jump in, I do want to remind everybody real quick, next week we start the Sales Funnel Secrets event for health professionals. So this is a 3-day live event, 100% complimentary. You're going to be blown away by the amazing content, like absolutely blown away. So I'll share a little bit more later about more of the specifics in terms of what we're going to cover, but just a quick reminder to make sure you save your seat. I'm going to put the registration link on, if I can find it. Yes. There we go. lesliebytel.com/funnel-challenge. Funnel-challenge. All right. So with that little bit of background, let's go ahead and jump in. So I'd love, first of all, because not everyone here uses the same terminology. Like, what is a VA? What is a virtual assistant? What do they do? Can you tell us a little bit about exactly what a virtual assistant is?
Yeah, absolutely. I do a lot of educating on this because it's changed so much over the years. So, a virtual assistant can wear many, many hats. Typically, it's that executive assistant that we used to all have in an office setting, only virtual. So think email management, doing your scheduling, customer support. Wouldn't necessarily say inbound calls these days. Everything's kind of pushed to email, but could be that. Managing travel and booking. And then it kind of develops into this creative online space that we're all running these days. So think of social media, managing courses and membership programs, handling a coach's book of business and making sure everything, all the resources are there for your customers. So kind of that whole world. And then it can go as high as actually editing websites and helping with podcast production and a lot of the creative stuff that entrepreneurs are getting into today. So jack of all trades they are, and some can specialize in just one thing. It just depends on what you're looking for and how you want to build and grow your team, or what you want to do as a virtual assistant.
I'd love to ask you a little bit. I probably should have asked you this first, but how you answered the question kind of reminded me. How did you get into this role? Tell us just a little bit. We'd love to learn just a little bit about your story, your journey, and how did you end up, basically with a firm that hires and trains and places virtual assistants. So tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so I like to say that it started when I was a corporate cubicle dweller, the girl that cried her eyes out on her way to work, sat in a cubicle, doing very menial, what I would call menial work, and not a lot of responsibility. And I knew that there was more to life than this. So I quit cold turkey and kind of just discovered that you could earn an income with services and skills that you already have, insert being a virtual assistant. So I got hired by a public speaker at the time and learned everything I could about being a virtual assistant, and the referrals came flying in. I gained a ton of experience and knowledge, and I'm a military spouse. So I kept getting asked the same question over and over by military spouses. How do I do what you do? I was earning a great income. I was traveling because I could work virtually whenever I wanted. And I created a training program. They say if you repeat yourself more than 3 times, record it and sell it. So that's what happened.
That's a good thing.
Yep. And I've trained over 125 virtual assistants to date, probably 130 after this week, 90 military spouses in there, and had really, really fantastic results. And entrepreneurs like yourself recognized what I was doing and then started asking for virtual assistant support, and that's where the placement agency was born. So now we not only train virtual assistants from the ground up, or virtual assistants that are already in the field just looking to hone their skills, but we also place them with really incredible entrepreneurs and small business owners.
Okay, that's amazing. Yeah. So is it nationwide?
Yep, nationwide. We do have some virtual assistants overseas, but they're US based virtual assistants. They're just overseas because they're stationed there, military.
Yeah. Okay. Mm-hmm. That's awesome. Okay. That is a cool story. So it all started back in the cubicle days, right?
Yes.
Bored out of your mind and just like, oh my God, I can't take it anymore. What can I do on my own, right?
Yes. And I just saw someone comment, the name of my company is Virtual Assistant Management. And my training company is Virtual Assistant Academy.
Okay, great. Okay. Yeah. Good thing to know. Yeah. So I know it's funny. I remember years ago, just sitting there going, what can I do on my own? Right. I was in this corporate job, like pretty intense job, lots and lots of responsibility in the pharmaceutical industry and marketing. And, I was like, okay, there's got to be something I can do on my own. And then I just remember the day it hit me like a ton of bricks, like, oh my God, there's this thing called private practice, right? And I just remember being just so excited that like I could do something on my own. And, I didn't have to go back to school and all that. I didn't have to go train. It was quite an exciting day. So all right. So give us a sense. This is a really common question. What can we outsource? Like, what are the kinds of tasks that we can outsource for, to a virtual assistant? Because I know that gets kind of overwhelming for people. They don't even really know where to start. What would you say? I know it was kind of a loaded question.
No, it's good.
A
good analogy to share. We all, you and I included, we all started our business for a reason, right? We had a service that we wanted to provide, but along the way, we ended up wearing, use this hats a lot, right? 87 hats that we didn't expect coming, right? We have to do the finances and the invoicing and customer service and social media marketing and business development, and actually then provide the service, right? Help the patient in this case, I'm guessing in most, or the client in this case. So all of those things that you're not meant to be doing, in my opinion, should be outsourced if you can scale your business to do so. So things specifically to start with, I think email is one of the most time consuming things a business owner takes on. And by having an assistant come in and clean it for you, kind of eventually answer in your voice and be able to take care of the common questions or scheduling questions, I'm sure a lot of it's very easy to train. So you're left with just your action items for the day, and they have it clearly defined. They could have your emails pre-written for you. You just go in and approve what they say. That's a great example of something. For this group specifically, you might get lead forms and someone needs to call and schedule or send them scheduling links. You might need someone to handle invoicing or making sure things got paid on time. Social media, we've brought that up. I'm sure marketing is not necessarily something that's second nature for this group, as it isn't for me as well. I'm not someone that loves that work, but there are people that do. Someone could completely run your social media, engage with your customers, do all of your posting and scheduling for a pretty reasonable rate if you kind of get your systems down. So
yeah,
those are some.
Doesn't that sound amazing?
Yeah, that's for me.
Like, just imagine. Oh my God, it's a game changer. It really is a game changer. So one of the things that you said that I love so much, Molly, is, just talking about like things that you probably shouldn't be doing as a practitioner or a provider, right? Like email. Now, of course, we're gonna look at email, but wouldn't it be awesome, guys, to have someone go through your email and like have swipe files handy, right? So someone else could actually clean out your inbox for you every single day and only send you the stuff that you need to look at. Amazing, right? Game changer.
Yes.
And that's just the beginning. That's like the first thing that you can hand off.
Yep, absolutely.
So many things. One of the challenges that I hear, in fact, I hear it regularly, is I'm so busy and overwhelmed, I don't have time to even think about it, let alone train somebody.
So I hear this as well. I think if you choose to accept that and believe that nothing's ever going to change, right? Let's just be real there. So your own results or the feelings that you're going to continue to have are because you're not willing to do the work. But I think there's a simple way to do that. And there's screen recording software now called Loom. If you're familiar with, as an example, there's several. Just start somewhere. If you find that you're doing the same thing every month that someone else could easily do, record yourself doing it for the next couple months, and that starts creating your training deck that someone can take off of your plate. So you can literally take the time to finish the task and execute it the time you would normally do, record it, and hand it off to someone without skipping a beat. So that's one of the ways to start looking at it. But being realistic, it does take time to bring on someone, and being as organized as possible from the very beginning and having that time set aside to onboard someone is very important for the success of having that relationship.
Yeah, I would agree with that for sure. It's it's an investment up front that is just going to make a huge difference in the long run. But it is an investment up front. You just have to know that, it is going to be a little time up front. I guess depending on the arrangement with your virtual assistant, you could kind of hand things over in chunks, right? Like, start with like, okay, I've got these, 5 things that I absolutely am ready to hand over, right?
Yep.
And I always tell my clients, really the first step to this, I think, you can tell me if you agree with this, but the first step in my mind is to use Loom or some other screen recording, type of application, and and record yourself doing the task, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just record yourself doing the task. And while you're recording, explain why. Like, I'm doing this because, right? Like, you just want to make it super crystal clear. And then what I did was I did some of these Loom videos and then I handed them over to a VA. And then she then took those videos and created SOPs for me.
Mm-hmm.
And,
Great.
and so that I found to be a really helpful process.
Yeah, absolutely. I find the same thing. And having your systems identified as well is super important. Like your cloud, your drive, if you're using a Google
Yeah.
Drive or a Dropbox, and being super consistent where things are, and recording and sharing that as you go is also, because access is the next big thing for a VA
Oh, right.
to do it.
Oh, right. So tell us a little bit about that. Obviously,
Yeah.
people are a little nervous sharing all their passwords. So what's your recommendation there?
Yeah, I do get this question as well. So in addition to using things like LastPass, where you can password protect everything and they have a user password, that's a good way if you're
Yeah.
conscious of this and nervous. In my experience and with our virtual assistants, I mean, the ones I sign off on them, I trust them. We do background checks. We're a community. We're very close. But personally, in the past, if I'm working with a VA that's overseas, it's very different. I wouldn't necessarily share my passwords or private information unless it's back end of a website or something, and make sure it's backed up. But I found you trust, right? You need to baby steps, grow the relationship, have a really good interview and go with your gut, and just don't give them the whole kitchen sink right from the beginning, but kind of see how that goes.
It
But
does require some trust.
it does. It does.
And it requires some, and this is a real big challenge for everybody. Give me a yes in the chat if this is you. It kind of freaks you out to let go of the control.
That is huge.
Yes, I would say I'm pretty sure like probably everyone can relate. And sometimes we kind of tell ourselves the story in our heads that, oh my God, it's just easier to do it myself, right? Give me a yes if you've said that. So again, we're kind of going back to the idea that it's an investment, right? It's an upfront investment, but you are going to have so much time, like so much freedom, and your business is going to grow without a doubt. I could say this, like, I can't even say it emphatically enough. Like the two things I did, and this was years ago, that really, really helped my business explode. Number one, now this is kind of old fashioned, and it was years ago, right? I got rid of the paper calendar. I know I'm kind of dating myself probably there, but it took a little time, but I got rid of that. I got an online scheduler, so I wasn't emailing back and forth. That was huge, right? Like an online, like nowadays it's kind of like a given. Pretty much everybody does that, yeah, like that was huge. And then the other thing was getting a VA, right? So those two things it just puts you in the driver's seat, and it's amazing. So we have some questions did you want to say something about that? Probably.
Yeah, I think energetically also it puts you back into why you started your business or offer the services you do as a practitioner or service provider, and you just start to be happier. But the other thing I want to point out with time is your family life. It will also really, really improve because you're no longer putting the kids to bed if you have kids and that's your situation, and then getting on the computer and answering all these emails or doing all the busy work of running your business. So
I'm really glad you brought that up, honestly, because what I hear a lot of is burnout.
Yeah.
Like signs of burnout. Like I'm really starting to wonder if this is worthwhile, right? Because it just seems like all I do is work. Guys, if that is you, that's a sign for sure, right? Because you should be focused on driving the business without a shadow of doubt. You need to be doing things that create revenue, and all the other stuff you really should be handing over. Oh my God, you're going to have like a new lease on life if you do it, right?
Yes.
So we've got some
yeah, compensation and time.
Yeah, let's see. Where should we start? Oh, let's start at the top. So, yeah, what do you think about that?
Yeah, so compensation has changed through the pandemic. You know, I don't know if anyone's walked into Target lately, but you could make $16 to $20 depending on what town you're in to be a cashier at Target.
Yeah.
So that's really affecting us as entrepreneurs and outsourcing. So what I'm seeing US based is 17 and above. My firm is 25 minimum for virtual assistant per hour. And I recommend for anyone, don't hire a virtual assistant unless they're going to work 5 hours or more per week with you. It's just energetically, it's not enough. They're not going to show up enough, and you're not going to be able to utilize them enough to really see a difference. So you're looking at 20 hours a month at a minimum, $25 an hour at a minimum. That's what I see. And then I also want to point out, there are, people, I have to educate a lot on this. You see virtual assistants, it's like, oh, I have a VA that's $8 an hour. Those are overseas virtual assistants, unless you find someone that's willing to do that. And there's a huge difference, especially when you're talking about client care and customer service. So
huge.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. And there's some great people, some really incredible people that can fill those types of roles in your business.
Mm-hmm.
The thing, and many, do you speak English? Like, they have really good English skills. Some, it's not typically their first language. So it's really interesting how there can be some nuances to the English language, right?
Absolutely.
Really interesting nuances. And, I can speak from experience there. It's just kind of, it's kind of funny. Like I could probably tell some stories, but, so anyway, there's great people, amazing, really hardworking. I think you want to really look, the one challenge I will bring up with overseas is the time difference, right? Like, I think that's pretty significant. So, yeah. So
I always say outsourcing overseas, and I do this myself, I'm very specific. So if I'm looking for research done, I need a list of every university in Florida for a speaker, right? That's an example. Or I want you to edit these graphics in my brand, and I find a really good overseas designer. That's the best ticket if you can find one. That's been really great. And I use Upwork if you're looking for overseas work. So that's
good.
Yeah, but you have to outline exactly what you want.
Okay, that's a good tip. I like that. Okay. We had a question, let's see, about military spouses.
Oh yeah.
Are all of the 135 women you've trained military spouses?
They aren't. Most of them are. That's just my network and who I attract. So send them my way, but that you don't have to be at all. And we just got our first man. I'm so excited. We just got a new student who's a man, and I'm like, yes, we're
awesome.
Diversifying. Yeah. So it's good.
That's great. Okay. Let's see. Oh, someone had to leave.
Okay.
If you're still on, I can't see who you are. It's very protective of identities, right? So long backstory. But the recording will be on the Facebook page. It'll also be on YouTube. Okay. So, and LinkedIn.
Woohoo! That's good.
A whole bunch of places, guys. Yeah, LinkedIn. That's a whole nother topic. They've got the ability to live stream now. So hello, everybody, if you're watching on LinkedIn. Okay. So I think we talked about this, right? How do you determine compensation for a VA?
Yeah, the next one's a little different. What if your hours vary week to week? Customer service emails. So you don't, the way I teach my virtual assistants, you don't have to use all your 5 hours every week. You're bound to be flexible here, but certainly having Monthly retainers is super important for both sides to make sure that they have their time set aside, dedicated for you, and they're available for you to do the work.
Yeah.
But it can flex. I think what you want to be conscious of is not waiting till the last week. That's where you're going to cause a lot of problems if you're throwing 20 hours on your virtual assistant. You just got to be realistic about it. And I ask my virtual assistants to check in, right? If they're way under on hours and it's about the 20th of the month, they need to be letting their client know, like, hey, I got some time. Like, what do you got for me? This is what I see I could help you with. Have them be proactive and bring things up. That's super valuable as well. So, but it kind of just works itself out, and they'll get into a cadence with your business.
Yeah. Yeah. And it obviously, if they're working 20 hours a month for one person, they're going to have more than just you to take care of, right?
Absolutely.
So like if everybody waits like to the last week, that would not be good for the VA.
No.
Right? Like that would be super stressful.
Yes. Yes.
So yeah. So, and by the way, hey, Angela, good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Oh yeah, thank goodness for Loom. Yeah, Loom is really, really good. For those of you that aren't familiar with it, they do have a free version that's pretty robust. So yeah.
Otherwise, it's only $10 a month, and it has a Chrome extension, so it's super simple to use.
They do have a Chrome extension. Yeah, that makes it super easy. So yeah, in terms of just kind of first steps, I would just get Loom, start recording tasks that you do every single day, right? And just record your screen and talk through it as you're doing the task. And again, I do think it's super helpful to just talk about why you're doing things in a certain way. It just kind of adds a little context to, to the process. So I think that's a good place to start. So okay, so this person, hello, says, I'm a control freak, but have learned the power of delegation. It's, you know what? I give you so much credit just for learning how to do it. Yeah.
It is.
But once you do it, it sets you free. You're like, yeah, I'm pretty good at delegating now, actually.
Good. It is. It's a learned skill. I will say that.
And I love it. Guys, this is when it gets really awesome, is when your VA is like, Leslie, no. No. So Abby, if you're listening, thank you for that. Abby, my wonderful VA, I was about to relinquish my Fridays recently, just like a couple, just a couple this summer. Like, Leslie, no, Monday through Thursday, that's it. I'm like, oh, see,
love you, Abby.
in line. Okay, that's great. And then, yeah, good to see you, Angela. So happy that you're here. Let's see. Oh yeah, recovering perfectionist. Good is good enough and done is better. Oh, like, what an amazing quote.
That is an amazing quote.
Yeah, good enough is definitely the way to go. And usually it's awesome, right? It's just kind of letting go of the fear that it's not going to be good enough. And it's also letting go of just that idea that, it's just easier to do it myself.
Yeah.
It's really not. Like, I kind of think, yeah, at the end of the day, it's not, right, Molly?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the other thing to mention is don't be tied to how they're going to do it, right?
Oh,
I run into this. Virtual assistants, the good ones, are wired differently usually than their clients. They're very linear, type A, not that clients aren't, but we just operate a little differently. So usually it's more efficient. This is what we do all day in the admin. So if we're doing things differently but getting the same result, let go of that. So
okay. Yeah. So it's not how they get you there. It's just it's that end result. So tell us a little bit about how you go about finding a VA. That's a really, really common question that I get. Like,
yes.
Oh my God, I don't even know where to start. So what would you say?
So there's an exercise that I walk just about everyone through before you even start the Loom videos. You might be able to jump to that, but kind of have a notebook out next to you for a couple weeks and start writing down all the things you're doing that I argue, you write down everything you do. You call your mom, you check your email, you make an appointment, you meet with a patient, you send an invoice, all of it, and then come back to it and circle all the things that you physically have to do. You have to call your mom. No one can do that for you. You probably have to be with the patient or the client. And you'll start to see kind of your job description be created. So what I'm trying to get you to do is be very clear and have clarity around what you need. Because if you're going to a VA and you're kind of uncertain, then it just kind of gets murky from the very beginning. So that's super important.
Okay.
And then I'm a firm believer of once you know and you have clarity, the solutions start to show up for you, right? So whether that's posting on your social media, your job description with your a call to action, say, I'm hiring, I'm looking for someone. It might not be the person that's following you exactly. It might be someone they know, a stay-at-home mom that would be great at this role that they can refer to. There are agencies like mine, if you're looking for a little more support and consulting along the way and kind of a partner to make sure that you get the right person. And then there are online services that you can kind of just buy bulk hours. You get who you get. I've seen that work for some, but if you're looking for kind of a personal partner in crime, I suggest going the other directions. Kind of either hire a consulting firm to find you someone, or a recruitment firm. And then also use your network. This whole group is a network that probably has some connections for this as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think it really just depends on how much time you have. Some of you are like, I don't have time to go asking people, and I just don't have time. And I think that's really especially where Molly fits in. If you're the person that maybe you don't feel comfortable. A lot of us don't have experience hiring people, right? Right. So a lot, if that's you, if you're like, oh my God, I don't even know what I would ask during an interview, or I just don't know if I'd be able to pick out the right person, then that is probably a situation. Or if you don't have time to really think about it and you just want someone to present you with 3 great candidates,
Exactly.
then that's where I think Molly really can help you out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's see. Oh yeah, Dorothy. Let's see. So Dorothy, hey Dorothy. Dorothy says Abby is a peaceful, perfect match to give us more of. Oh, that's so sweet. Yes, Abby makes it all possible.
She's on it. She's awesome.
She is my right hand gal for sure. And guys, it just really shows when you get it right. It's amazing. Like, you get to go on vacation, right? Without having to, worrying about it's just amazing. It really is. I honestly, I can't say enough about it. So if you're not there yet, the thing I would say, and let's talk a little bit about this, because this is the other huge question, is when do I do it? When do I take the plunge? My hunch is that you do it before you think you're ready.
Yes, absolutely.
Can you add anything to that?
I mean, life just, the more successful you get, the more your practice scales and grows, the more busy you're going to get. Then you're not going to have the time to do it right. You're going to be rushed. So I think that's super important. There's also the whole conversation of, it's an investment in someone. So you need to make sure that you have the capital to do it. We're not talking about crazy amounts of money. You could start with $125 a week, right? Think of that.
Right.
Just $500 if I'm doing the math right,
right,
a month. But what's important is then that time that you spent working on your business, you then replace with revenue generating activities, business development, or getting new clients, whatever it is. That's super important so that you can keep it going.
Yeah, that's a really good point. So yeah, I would replace it like literally hour per hour.
Yes.
So that you are actually able to see a really fast return on your investment.
Mhm.
And then there's like this tipping point where it just kind of explodes, and it's not a direct, one-to-one ratio at all. It's like it just like
Yeah.
your return just is so much bigger than what you're investing.
Yep. And you end up with Fridays off.
Yes, Friday off. Best. It is the best. Let me take a peek here. So, yeah, tell us a little bit about the communication.
Yes. So this is so important that we actually just started offering a service, an onboarding service, because you have to get that from the get-go, right? Have the time to decide when you hire someone. So there's several things that go into this. One is having a form of communication, right? So I'm a huge fan of Asana. It's a project management tool. It's like a Trello or Slack's a little different, but kind of what are the things happening this week? This is where we can communicate. We're out of email. It's just our admin, our business tasks and to-dos. It is a brilliant tool and it's free. Something like that or that is a huge recommendation. In addition to that, choose your communication channels. So the worst thing for a virtual assistant is to have emails, Gchat, text messages, phone calls, all of this coming at them. And the Voxer is a walkie-talkie app. I know a lot of people use that. And it creates overwhelm. The tasks are coming at them every different direction. You're basically just creating chaos and they have to juggle it. So watch out for that. So I always say, have two forms of communication. So you either have like an Asana, or if you're old school and you just want to pop into an Excel spreadsheet, like this is the week, these are the tasks, check it off. It can be that basic. Then have your SOS channel, right? So if they need to get a hold of you, how do they do that? Have that created up ahead or communicated ahead of time. And then lastly, so third point, have team calls, even if it's 15 minutes, Monday afternoon, Tuesday morning, whatever it is, just to touch base. Though we are virtual and you might not meet us in person, we are still an extension of you and your team. So it's really important to treat them as a team member would be, even if they were working alongside of you, and include them and ask them how their day is. All of that stuff's super important. And then get on the same page about the business goals and what's going on that week so they can best support you.
Yeah, I really advocate for team meetings.
Yes.
So yeah, we meet every Friday. And so that is the one thing that I always have in my calendar on Fridays. And it's really good. And it's amazing how, I don't know, like it makes everybody feel like they're part of a team.
Mm-hmm.
And there's just, I don't know, it's just like more of an investment in the growth of the business.
Mm-hmm.
So I wouldn't look at it short-sighted, like, oh, MG, I have to pay the person. Like, don't look at it that way. That's super short-sighted. It's an investment in your business, right? And you start investing in your business in this way, you are going to see way more in return than what you put in.
Yep.
Without a doubt.
Yep. Couldn't have said it better.
So, so what other little tidbits, if any, did you want to share with our audience? It always goes by so fast. So like, wait, how did it get to be? So as we look at starting to wrap up our talk together today, any last thoughts that you'd like to share?
I just want to echo what we've shared, but if you're truly in a position of overwhelm and how did I get here? I used to love my work.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a burden now, or I'm dropping the ball and clients are noticing. It's time to get the support you need. In addition, or if your lifestyle is kind of getting out of control, you're like, I'm not even relaxing anymore. Take a look at that. This is kind of spiritual, but we only have one life. So if we're spending it grinding at the business that we created for ourselves as self-employed individuals, that's not really the answer. You're at that point, you don't really have a business, you have a job.
Yeah.
So just start thinking about that personally and see where it lands for you. And then start doing some of the exercises that I shared about identifying the things that need to come off your plate.
Okay. So I'm going to share Molly's information in just a second. Before I do that, All right, this is an experiment. Let's see if I can share my screen. I don't know if it's going to let me. Oh, it wants to share my whole screen. Okay, never mind. I thought it was going to be like Zoom where I could just pick like the application, but nope. All right, so let me just what I wanted to do is just remind everybody and just tell you just a teeny bit more. I'm not going to take much time at all on this, but just make sure you save your spot for the Sales Funnel Secrets for Health Pro. It's a brand spanking new live 3-day master training, and it's happening next week. So please mark your calendars. May 3rd, 4th, and 5th. And we're going to be meeting live at 7 p.m. Okay, 7 p.m. Central. Okay, Central, so 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern. Lots of goodies, lots of really good templates and handouts. We're going to be talking about how to design your different levels of your profit pyramid, really talking a lot more about the strategy behind creating sales funnels. So that is a key element. I'm going to be sharing my 7-step revenue roadmap in detail, and you're going to get a beautiful copy of that entire process in an infographic format. We're going to be talking on day 2 about what I call the course matrix for creating your programs, pivotal considerations for course design and structure. So we're really going to be digging in to that profit pyramid and specifically how to build out your offer. And then we're going to, on day 3, I'm going to be giving you really some critical, what I would call must-do kind of information to help you to ensure that you have a successful sales funnel, as well as ensuring a successful launch overall. So just want to encourage you to save your spot. Guys, if you have any colleagues or friends that would be interested in joining, I would love to have them. It would be really fun to have, I think it'd be really fun to do it with a buddy as well. So you can see the URL on your screen, leslievitel.com/funnel-challenge. That was a mouthful. So go ahead and save your spot. And someone asked, how long will each meeting last? Well, I'm very cognizant of your time. At the same time, each of these sessions is really quite jammed with content, like content worksheets. We're going through content. In all honesty, I would plan on 60 minutes. I'm going to try to go faster, but if you've ever been to any of my trainings, there is no fluff, right? It is all really, really intensive training. So plan on an hour, maybe a little less. Okay. And, the other thing to remember is the recording. So like if you had to leave a little early, you could catch the recording, right? Those will be available for a very limited time. All right. So let's go ahead and get, let's see. I'm looking for what's the best way to send people your way if they want to learn more?
Yeah, so if you're looking to hire a virtual assistant, it's virtualassistantmanagement.com.
Okay.
And just let us know, it's a free discovery call. So let us know that you're connected to us through Leslie, and we'll help you.
I'm looking, I have this this comment here. Thank you, Abby, for putting that in.
Yeah,
how to copy and paste it because it's a little long.
So that's actually Leslie's form. When you fill that out, I know you came from Leslie, so we're giving credit where it is due.
It's not letting me copy and paste. So
okay. Virtual assistant management, and we'll connect the dots for everyone.
Okay, let's see. Virtual. All right, tell me and I'll type it in the comment.
Yeah, I can't type virtualassistantmanagement.com. All one word.
Okay, let's see if I typed that correctly. I've been known to, all right, virtualassistantmanagement.com. All right, there you go, guys. So, so if you're looking for someone to help really to help find. So this is a service that Molly provides where she actually like talks to you first, really gets to know you on a much deeper level, really gets to understand your needs within your business. And then she goes out and identifies, I think you identified 2 or 3 candidates
Correct.
with skill sets that match,
Yep.
right?
Yes. And then you have the opportunity to either hire them directly and contract with them one-on-one, or through us if you want more support. So there's 2 options there.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds good. I
Yep.
would go for it for sure. So, all right. Well, thank you so much, Molly.
Thank
It
you.
was
That's great.
really fun catching up with you,
Yes.
and really good to see everyone today. I'm really happy that you're able to join, and yeah. So I hope I hope you all have a great rest of your week, a wonderful weekend, and I'll see you again next Thursday, same time, same place. All right. Actually, no. Nix that. I will see you Tuesday. Tuesday at 7 p.m. Central for the live event. Absolutely. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. All right, guys. If you have any questions, drop me a line at leslie@leslievitel.com. All right, guys. See you on Tuesday. All right. Thanks, Molly. Bye for now.
Thank you.